Hey guys, this is Connor Slayton and welcome to my live day trading series. You'll be getting an in-depth behind the scenes view on all of my trades and setups. If at any time you have any questions, please comment below and I'll be happy to help you. And if this series is something you guys are interested in seeing more of, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the E-mini NASDAQ 100 futures on a 1000 tick volumetric delta chart. This proprietary trading style, which actually is similar to what Goldman Sachs futures traders use by the way, gives you the ability to read critical order flow data in an easily digestible way. This chart gives you the ability to see things that are straight up impossible to see on a traditional candlestick chart. For example, I'm able to see when buyers and sellers are being aggressive by crossing the spread, see support and resistance points being formed in real time via absorption, and a myriad of other extremely useful data points that most retail traders don't even know exist. Right now we're in pre-market, so I'll see you guys soon when the market is about to open. Alright, looks like market's about to open in about a minute. Often, first minutes of the market opening is usually the most volatile. I often have a lot of opportunities that happen at this point with a pretty high success rate, relatively speaking. You just got to make sure you have a very defined stop loss set, which is what these ATM strategies are very useful for. They have a stop loss and take profit that are entered immediately that you can customize, so you will have a defined risk. That is very necessary in futures trading as it's a very leveraged instrument. I'm talking like hundreds of dollars within like a couple dollars a movement, or like less than 1% of movement. So you really need to be on your game on that one. But looks like the market just opened right now, so let's see if it picks a clear direction here. There wasn't really any indication pre-market of where the market's going to move. If I had any guess, it's going to move down, but yeah, it looks like it's probably going to do that here. So I think I'm actually going to sell short. It seems like there was a pretty balanced amount of sellers here, but 12% difference is actually pretty high. So I would say that that's a pretty solid entry right there. We're going to place our stop loss just above this level right here, where 82 buyers tried to beat this price point, but they weren't actually able to do it. And then we have 55 buyers right here who got absorbed by passive sellers. Sellers who are just sitting at this ask level with orders, and they're going to need a lot of people to get through this level. So I'm very comfortable having my stop loss right there. If they do get to that level, it's probably going to shoot up pretty quickly. So I need to be able to get out automatically and quickly, faster than I could do with my hands. So luckily, that's why we have this automatic sell order right here. We're gonna just keep our take profit order at around 100 ticks, just because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's often the amount of increments that I work in for NQ, but you're free to use whatever you'd like. This trading style usually has trade lengths that are about a minute to 2 minutes long. So and that's honestly what I feel like works best for the strategy. And regarding our trade right here, I think that we're gonna see our take profit hit pretty soon, as we're seeing a continuation of this negative delta that we were seeing earlier, and yeah, it looks like we just got filled. So you're definitely going to want to be paying attention to these percentages right here. They're very important in determining the actual direction of the market compared to the price, because the price can move up and down relatively randomly compared to how many buyers and sellers there are. So this is a more accurate indication of where the price is going to move and is moving right now. So just keep that in mind, that we'll often see divergences in that, and you might be seeing, wait, why are you still in this trade? The price is moving against you. But we gotta have confidence in how the market internals work. I get a lot of people asking me, what is delta? It's frankly speaking, it's just you're just reading the tape. Often traders on the floor would be reading the tape, seeing these big orders go through. But you'd had to be pretty skilled to be able to do that. You had to be able to process data very quickly. And honestly, in this day and age with so many market participants, that's just not possible. You can't read these thousands of orders coming through and make a accurate observation on what's going on without one of these charts. So you're able to see when people are crossing the spread, when people are defending. So yeah, it's a godsend. It completely changed my trading career. I went from being a semi-profitable trader, like able to make enough money to live on and all that, but now I actually feel like I'm very confident I'll be able to operate in all market regimes, because of just the nature of there's always going to be participants in the market, and I think that's extremely important, that you have that adaptability, that a strategy may be based on not price action, but an indicator strategy or news that might not actually work in an environment where there's less volatility, more volatility, fundamental events changing and all that, interest rate changes. So you need to be able to be adaptable, and that's why I've just stuck with this strategy for so long after I discovered it. It's just a miracle. You gotta try it out. So it looks like I'm not really seeing any incredible opportunities right now. So I'm gonna stay on the line, but I'll probably end up cutting the video to when I find the next opportunity. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of I'm not sure here. All right. Oh, looks like we're seeing a pretty strong movement up here. This might be an opportunity to trade. If this bar closes at a pretty safe spot, then I think I'm gonna go long here. Seems like a very strong 10% recovery here. Let's just wait for confirmation. Yeah, I think it's time. All right, so we just entered this trade right here. I think I'm going to place this right below this level. Not really any significance to this level other than these 125 sellers across the ask trying to beat this level, but they weren't able to do it. Lots of sell pressure. They weren't able to beat that. So I think that's why we're seeing this monumental wave of buyers coming in. Wow, we're already up a significant amount of ticks. So I'm actually going to change this and turn off the show P&L and flat. It's kind of annoying for psychological reasons. By the way, trading is a very psychological game. It's very easy for computers to do. I think if I could train a computer to do what I do, it would be much more successful. It's just that you often get caught up in your emotions. Like it sounds kind of dumb, but it really is an emotional game. Trading is very simple, but it is not easy. It is probably the hardest thing you will do emotionally in terms of an occupation. It's very nerve-wracking. So if that's not something you're ready for, I mean, I'd probably suggest, or anyway, I'd start out suggesting with paper trading to at least get your mind in check. But you can't train emotions without real money. So please start small. Really, it's a game changer if you're playing with money that's actually like very significant amount to you, that you will probably not be successful at all. When in reality, if you used a smaller amount, looks like we just got filled. I mean, check out this really strong recovery right here. So I mean, once we see these very strong delta numbers in combination with some absorption at levels that are close to our potential entry, that's a really big green sign right here. So that was a pretty successful trade. I'd say we're up about $1,000 for the day. So yeah, let's get on to the next one. In a pretty strong rally right here, with honestly breaking through resistance at every single level. So buyers are probably going to run out of steam pretty soon. I don't see any really reason for this. I'm not really sure what's going to go on here, but if we see a very strong sell movement, we're probably going to go short. So let's just wait and watch. This is a pretty standard movement actually. Just gotta keep watching. We did see some absorption at this level. If it doesn't break this, I think that I'm gonna go short. Wow, a lot of sell pressure right there. I think that's my opportunity to sell in right here. So I'm just gonna keep my stop loss. We're still pretty close to it, so we're going to stick with it right there. We're going to go right above this resistance point. So we'll have a pretty good cushion in case that happens. But, oh wow, looks like we're getting some movement. Sweet. A lot of downward pressure right here. So I'll probably get filled pretty soon if we don't see a reversal. The 22% bar out of nowhere. As you can see, we often see these happen right after a really strong rally, breaking through these points. See how, oh, sweet, looks like we just got filled again. As you can see, I mean, honestly, this is a pretty good day, 3 wins in a row, but this is actually generally pretty standard for how these trades are entered. You got to be pretty aware of when you have exits. These pivot points, like right around here, are very, very useful when determining a good cushion. You could, because honestly, your entry shouldn't matter as much of where your stop loss is, as much as key points. There are these key levels like right here where there are where it's just you have to be able to know where there are active buyers and where there are passive sellers. So or the other way around. Knowing the difference between active and passive participants is very important. And when active sellers and buyers are what actually pushes the price, and passive sellers and buyers are what defend certain levels. So that's what you see, that's what actually resistance and support is. If you've ever wondered why prices return to certain points and bounce off of them, it is passive sellers and passive buyers. So this just gives you an in-depth view on where that is actually happening and why it's happening. So that's just good to keep in mind. Lots of sell pressure right here. Once again, if we see some absorption and the price bouncing off of that level, and with some strong delta recovery, we'll probably enter. But by going long, I don't really like to follow the direction of the price in short term, because that's honestly not really an indication of something happening. You need to be able to see it happen before it happens, and that's what these charts are so good for. With indicators, they're trailing. They follow the price. With these, you see it as it's happening. That's why people just swear by level 2 data, and that's why I call this level 3 data, because it allows you to see what's going on beneath the surface. So lots of absorption right here, and okay, I don't know, it seems like this might be a pretty good trade. I mean, we don't have a very key resistance level yet, but we'll see what's going on here. Price continues to move downward, so not yet. But I really have a strong feeling that these sellers are gonna run out of steam here. I mean, look at that. It just seems like we got a pretty good opportunity here. So yeah, we're seeing some pretty strong upward movement right now. So I think I'm gonna enter long right here. All right. So once again, we're gonna place our stop pretty much just below this absorption level, and our take profit 100 ticks up as usual. So we'll see how this trade goes. We're seeing some continually increasing delta, which is always a good sign. But you never know, honestly. But I'm still very confident about this trade, and we have a pretty good cushion to work with here. So it's staying right around our entry, which isn't really a great sign, but I'd like to see some sort of movement. And there's a lot of delta being movement, but not that big of a price change. So we're probably going to see some pretty quick movement here. As you can see, I'd like to explain again why I put my stop loss right here. So as you can see, there were a lot of sellers who tried to go through this level after a very long sell rally. So at this point, lots of sellers and passive buyers really stepped in right here with this buy wall, and they were able to defend this position. So if it breaks through that, it's probably going to continue downward pretty fast. So that's good to keep in mind. We are seeing some slow, gradual upward movement here. So hopefully we'll be able to reach our take profit pretty soon. Unless something very critical happens, I often leave these trades hand-free. Like unless some crazy new information comes in about like that we see on this chart. But the price, I don't really base my decisions off the price. I base them essentially completely based off of the direction of the price and the delta. That sounds like it's like an oxymoron saying that, or contradictory statement saying I don't base off the price, but it really is the direction plus the delta. You got to take both of these into consideration. And honestly, I think that's why a lot of people don't see trading as a winning game, is that they're missing this key piece of information, this entire level of information, which is being able to see beneath the skin of the market. You're able to see what's actually happening. where these buyers and sellers are stepping in. And frankly, it amazes me that people are able to be profitable without seeing this type of data. It's just I think it's completely essential to have in every trader's toolkit. And I've seen people combine this type of chart with their other type of trading to increase their success rate and their alpha. And I just think it's very useful to have in your trading arsenal. Right now I'm actually using NinjaTrader's official trading chart. This is called the volumetric chart. It's on NinjaTrader's website, but me and my colleagues are actually working on a type of chart that we'll be able to release for much cheaper. The NinjaTrader one requires you to have the lifetime license, which is over $1,000, and I found that to be very useful. But I think that we'll be able to create a type of system that'll be able to work with NinjaTrader or any other type of trading software that won't require you to pay that. It actually looks like we ended up getting stopped out there, so that's a shame, but honestly, not a big deal. We only lost, let's say, 70 ticks on that, so we're still very, very green for the day. But as I was saying, we'll probably be releasing a type of chart that will be much more inexpensive, or actually probably free at some point. But I do not plan on selling any courses or anything like that. All the information will be here on this channel. I just want to help new traders because it's something that I really struggled with when I first started getting started. There was no real information on these type of charts, and I think it's just so important that there is some level of education out there that shows what we can see. So yeah, the big banks have had access to this type of chart since the early 2000s, and only recently was it a publicly available indicator or chart style. Order flow is it's pretty popular over in the commodity sector, but I don't really see it that often in very small retail accounts like mine. But yeah, you should definitely take a look at it. Do some research into what a fingerprint chart is. I think that's what the original was called. But yeah. Seeing some pretty flat movement for a while, along with some zigzagging delta. Not really any consistency spotted here, but we'll see what goes on with that. It seems like, all right, we're seeing some upward delta. I think that I'm probably gonna go long here, just because I think that this delta will continue moving upward as we see these increasing numbers and consistency. I think that's pretty strong. I think I'm gonna put my stop loss just below this level. There isn't any particular reason other than this high 140 level right here, but we'll see how it goes. If we see any indication that this trade is starting to really fizzle out, I think I'm going to get out of it pretty quickly, but as of now, there's no real indication of that happening. You kind of have to go at this with a minute mindset. We often take things as events as they're happening right now, but we have to really check back in every maybe 20 seconds about what's going on here when every new bar comes in. I try to avoid looking at price at second by second, because that can change significantly by the time you look away and the time you look back. I don't really think it's a great way to do things, and I think that's why a lot of people fail, is that they make these decisions in the wrong time frame. I like my time frame is 2 minutes long, and that means I like to take things maybe an eighth of that. Take things in like an eighth of 2 minutes. Check back on the trade each one of those times, because if you're just looking at this bar as it's being formed, see, this is a 30% delta bar. I mean, you're not going to enter the trade mid-bar looking at that. I mean, you got to wait for the bar to finish. So, but yeah, we are seeing some continuous improvement with the delta here. So I think I am going to stick to this trade. I might do a break even, but I'm not sure yet, because as I said earlier, we don't really have a clear stop loss at this level. That was essentially just the default, so I think I am going to move this one up a little bit more, because I'm not in the mood to lose that significant amount of money at this point, because I honestly only really like to trade the first hour of the day, and it's 7:20 Pacific right now, so we're encroaching on that amount. So this is probably going to be the last trade of the day, regardless of whether or not we lose. And one other thing you really got to master when you're trading is just know when to walk away, and that doesn't mean when you're on this big loss streak you should walk away, but don't revenge trade. You should really go at this with a calm mindset of looking for opportunities. And my opportunities usually come in the first hour. That is really when there's a clear amount of direction. The market is predictable for me. And when I trade between the hours of 7:30 Pacific to 12 Pacific, then there is often just a lot of whipsaws. I get stuck in a trade and it reverses on me really quickly when I just saw some significant improvement. So you really gotta decide when you're gonna trade. The market does not act the same the entire day, and there are opportunities for different people at different times. Like I know spread trading or calendar spreads are very, very popular between the hours of 8 and 12 because there's honestly not a lot of volatility, but there is um, a lot of market makers out there who are trying to arbitrage on options, and the options market actually affect the futures market significantly. So significantly, at least enough to make spread trades on it. But looks like this trade's going pretty well right now. But I don't want to jinx myself. Knock on wood. But yeah, I mean, we've had a pretty solid day so far. So we'll see how this keeps on going. Honestly, I think the barrier to entry of using this type of chart is just so high for no reason. This is such a useful tool, but it's honestly not really that advanced. I mean, this is public knowledge, and there are lots of companies out there who have made aftermarket charts like this, and I simply chose to use this one because I already had a NinjaTrader license when I got it. But once again, my colleagues and I were working on a open source version or a version that'll be much easier to get into in terms of this. So it's keep yourself tuned for that. I mean, I don't know if I'd say this tool is worth $1,000 if you're really trying to spend that much, but I don't really think that anybody should really be paying that amount, especially when they don't have any experience. Like now I would pay $1,000 for it, but for someone who's never used it before, I don't think I would. I mean, when you think about it, like it's not really, you don't trust the system yet because you've never used it. You can't even try it out. So I want to figure out some way to get this tool more accessible for people to so they're able to at least experiment with it without having to like risk $1,000 of capital on something that they're not even gonna necessarily get a return on. I mean, that's not even money you get to trade with. That's money you have to buy the license with. So I wouldn't really recommend going the route of buying it through NinjaTrader. I'd buy it through a third party, or I'd wait for the version that I'll be releasing soon. But yeah, it looks like some sellers stepped in right here. I mean, at this level, when the 128 buyers came in and they tried to beat this level, I mean, if it can't beat this level again, I think I am gonna move us to break even right here. But yeah, it looks like we're able to break through it, so we're honestly probably gonna fill pretty quickly. I mean, like they were putting a lot of pressure right here. Like we've been fighting this level for a really long time now, and we're finally able to beat it. So I'd say that we're probably gonna fill pretty soon. As you can see, some passive sellers defended this position, and when it beat this position, a lot of people stepped in, actively selling that, or actively hitting that market sell button. It is important to know the difference between buying bid and selling ask versus crossing the spread and doing that. You end up saving money by doing that, but you're not aggressively getting into these trades. There's no reason to not just join the bid or join the ask unless you are aggressively trying to get into a trade thinking there's going to be a short-term price movement. And that is what these numbers indicate. These numbers indicate aggressive people trying to get into a trade as fast as possible. And I think that's really important to know the difference between these two. Most like for example, retirement funds or index funds, when they buy and sell stocks, they do not use market sell, market buy. They don't need to get in now. It's a process that goes throughout the whole day or even weeks of slowly buying through by joining or selling the ask, or joining or buying ask, because you save so much on the spread. The spread is a very significant chunk of money. It's often 2 ticks wide on NQ, and that's like $10. So if you're making like 20 trades a day, I mean, you're spending $200 just on the spread. It's atrocious unless you have a reason to do it. And it looks like we just got filled there. So honestly, this I usually like to keep it off just while I'm trading because it's psychological. And looks like we made $1,500. So this is before commissions because I don't include commissions in my amount. That ends up happening at the end of the day after my broker calculates it because I have a dynamic commission system. It's not based on a specific site, but it usually is about 250 per side on NQ for one contract. But we'll see at the end of the day how that goes, but that should honestly be negligible. We only took like 5 trades. So if you guys are interested in seeing more of this style of content, please let me know by commenting down below your interest. Is live commentary while trading does require some effort, and I want to make sure this is something you guys are interested in before I invest more time into it. But I will be uploading a video very shortly detailing my strategy very in depth and explaining how it works along with all the necessary tools to do what I'm doing here. And hopefully we should be able to have that software out pretty soon so you guys are able to use it. And yeah, have a great day, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video.